Hey, what's going on, guys? It's William Price here with Free Will Media. And for the past 3 years or so, I've been getting a lot of questions about stocks and interest rates and trading and a lot of Forex news and just economic news, period, and Web3 development, blockchain, and crypto and stuff like that because I'm a huge consumer. I'm very passionate about a lot of that stuff, and I just was waiting and trying to figure out a simpler way to bring people to a better understanding of what's going on, because a lot of that stuff, a lot of that terminology is very confusing, and it confused me a lot, and I know that I can't bring it in a certain way because a lot of that stuff is really boring, to if you're not really into it. But I feel like people should still get the opportunity to be able to know what's going on in their economy without having to watch the Bloomberg news or consume the data that I know I consume on a daily basis. Look into all the stuff, spending hours doing that, and I just feel like people don't need to do all that to really understand what's going on in the economy. One of the biggest takeaways right now in the economy is inflation. Everybody across the board, across the world, is dealing with inflation right now, and the reason why we're dealing with high inflation, we're dealing with high inflation. We just had a 8.3 inflation data come out, which is terrible. That's terrible. I think it was like 8.6 the last time, and if you look, some of the stuff that is some of the things that are being produced in the economy, other than food and gas, they're still having very, very high demand, but the supply, due to the issues with the supply chain issues, getting those things overseas and stuff like that. You still got to deal with COVID and a lot of that stuff. You still got to deal with a lot of things going on. The war in Russia, Ukraine is still taking a big toll on the economy, with imports and exports alike. So you have this economy where inflation is going high. The feds are raising interest rates at the same time, but people aren't stopping buying stuff. So it's like the Fed raising the interest rates are supposed to combat the demand part, so that we can have more supply and the inflation, the prices can go down. But that's not happening because we're still spending, we're still consuming a lot, and with inflation going up, that's killing the consumer confidence, which is what really drives the growth of an economy. Is how the consumer, how the customer, what the customer feels like. It's not the business that would push the economy or even the Fed. It's what the customers really and the consumers are feeling like, because those are the ones who go out and buy things and that nature. So with that, what you have now is a situation where the consumer is losing confidence over and over again, and as the more the consumer loses confidence in the businesses, the Fed, and things like that, that trickles into the stock market, because the companies that are big businesses and stuff like that, they still have high prices. And so the people that are investing in these companies that look at this data to see like what that business, what the confidence of that consumer is at the time. If you got high inflation, slow growth, and you got the consumer not having confidence in the economy, period, or inflation, you kind of see how that would make an investor look at, a Nike or certain brands and things like that, like, oh no, let me take my money out of this. It goes back and forth. It fluctuates so much that you can't really keep a hold on what's going on until you get some leveling, and that's not what's happening right now. And so one of the things that's going on On the other side is the Web3 and the blockchain, and you see a lot with the crypto. You see a lot of people putting their confidence inside crypto. And the thing about crypto and Web3 is you have a situation where on the blockchain there is the supply and demand is kind of leveled out. So what you have is you got X amount of things that will be created, X amount of assets or certain things that you know that if you have this product, there is only but a limited amount. See, you don't want to be in a situation where you could keep producing, and then something happens and you can't figure out where does this thing belong? Where does this piece fit into the economy? And that's what's going on now. The Fed can't really figure out just economics period. It just can't be it's not being figured out what to do about inflation and raising interest rates and prices. That there is no, the answer that we thought was transitory and the inflation we thought was transitory proved not to be transitory. And so I'm an advocate of Web3 and the blockchain development and stuff like that. I personally invest in the decentralizing economy as a whole. And what decentralizing only means is more so you put the customers is putting their trust back into more, they're putting their trust into people to people other than putting their trust into businesses or governments to control that, which is, to me, is a good thing. I would rather trust my fellow brother or sister with the trust of than I would to trust a bigger business, a company, a corporation. I would rather trust the person that I see every day and I talk to every day than I would to trust a big business or a corporation with things like that. And that's kind of what you see that's happening right now in the economics and the stock sector and stuff like that. And I just want to be that person, one of those people that bring real simplified knowledge down to people, almost like a public service, like a public service broadcast. I feel like that's what people deserve. And so if you like this, if you like any of the content that I produce or anything that I say, or you want to keep it going, I'm trying to grow my channel. I'm trying to see what lanes to go in. And another thing that I do now is I do a lot of I personally do it in my life to try to combat what's going on with the supply and demand. I do a lot of online buying and selling and collecting, and what I do is I'll buy things at a discount and then I sell them for retail or whatever people offer. And you see that growing a lot with the eBay section. You look on eBay, you look on whatnot, you look on a lot of these places. It's happening all around, all across the board. And I think that ultimately the consumer, we as the peers and the consumer, will be what will take back the inflation and all that supply and demand issues and stuff. I think that'll ultimately be in the consumer's hand. But if you like this video in any way, shape, or form, please like it, love it, share it, tell your friend, any of that. I'm gonna try my best to keep producing the content and bringing as much real knowledge as I can bring to those who want to hear it. I enjoy doing this. This is a passion of mine, so I don't have an issue doing it at all. I don't have an issue bringing my expertise of what I know about the market period to the consumer, because I feel like we all deserve that free of charge. But love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. Those of you who stick around, the ones in the future guests. I really appreciate everybody, and y'all have a good day. Thank you.